wanted to talk to you today really about boundaries. I know there's really no intro to this or anything like that, but like I'm driving around and I was thinking just about like an incident that happened yesterday. And so boundaries are so important, and until I learned that I was allowed, in the sense, to have boundaries, which, by the way, everybody, you are allowed to have boundaries 100% about your life and not have to worry about other people's opinions or feelings about your boundaries. And it doesn't mean that you can be a dick to everybody, but what that means is that you can set boundaries, right? Personal boundaries, and you can say, I am not allowing anything to overstep these boundaries, or me to overstep those boundaries and do something that I'm not comfortable with. So, as most of you know, I watch my friend's little boy during the day. He's like my nephew. She's like my sister, and I call him my nephew. And we go to a lot of places. We go to places, we have a couple classes through the week. We go to the library sometimes. We go out into parks and gyms and different things to where other kids and parents are involved. And something that I notice all the time, and I have been even guilty of it, is I have noticed people do the, okay, go give so-and-so a hug, go tell so-and-so bye. Like, it's okay to say go tell so-and-so bye, but like the whole hugging thing, like go give them a hug, go give them a kiss, go do whatever. If someone isn't comfortable, a child even a small child isn't comfortable doing that, we should not make them do that. And I think we don't realize what we're setting children up for by doing that. Like, we don't realize that by saying, like, you go give Auntie a kiss by now. Like, when you say something like that, right, you teach them that it's okay, that they have to do things they don't want to do. And I get that we do have to do things we don't want to do in our lives. But what I mean by that is, like, you know, our bodies are they're ours, right? And if I don't want to hug somebody, and there's a couple things that reminded me of this, actually. Yesterday we were in music class, and one of the moms had said that her older son, her older son doesn't like to touch people when they handshake or whatever, so he does fist bump, right? So her little 18-month-old was fist bumping. It was the cutest thing ever. And she said, yeah, his brother taught him that because he doesn't like to touch people. And I was like, that's actually really good. I mean, at first I said, that's really good because I'm a germaphobe, right? But then I thought, oh, maybe it's bad. Like, maybe I shouldn't say that. But everybody agreed with me that's really good, that, like, if they don't want to touch somebody, they shouldn't have to. And then last night when I had dropped Ethan off, his mom was like, okay, give Auntie a kiss goodbye. And I was like, yeah, come give Auntie a hug and kiss goodbye. He's like, no, I didn't want to. And typically I would be like, you come here and give Auntie a kiss goodbye. But he didn't want to. And I remembered something that I had seen on the internet weeks ago, actually, but in conjunction with the other mom talking about one of her sons, it just all reminded me yesterday afternoon. I was like, that's okay, Ethan, you don't have to do that if you don't want to. I totally understand. I love you, though, and I will see you tomorrow. And, you know, I think it's so important to teach people, children especially, boundaries. So the article that I read explained that, you know, explain boundaries and explain that all of us don't like to be touched, and what we need to do instead of like forcing children to hug or kiss or whatever, like touch or whatever, is to just tell the other adult, which is crazy that we have to explain this to adults, but we've been trained that you just do that. It's just the right thing, the kind, the polite thing to do. But I always had a problem with it, and my parents would get a little bit like dicky with me. Like, if I didn't want to hug somebody by, you know, they would tell me, like, you need to do it. Like, so, and that may have something to do with a lot of the issues I have now, but this article said that we would just have to explain to the parents that so-and-so doesn't feel like hugging today, or so-and-so doesn't want to kiss, and that's just part of their boundaries, and we respect that, but that doesn't mean anything. And isn't that sad that we have to explain that to, like, a 40-year-old or whatever adult, that a child doesn't want to be fucked with? Like, I think that's so insane, but that's just shows, it goes back and shows how we're trained, how we are mentally trained to think that it's okay to be forced to let people grab us. And I don't mean like molest us, I mean like, you know, touch us when we don't feel like touching, even for a hug or a kiss. I don't even like people to like brush up against me in public sometimes. So I just think that we need to think about that and realize, like, I totally didn't even realize until I read that article, and I was like, you know what, that's right. Like, why do we force kids to do that? I mean, I've even told Ethan when he didn't want to give the music teacher a hug, I mean, I would say previous, like, last month or whatever, like, before, I would just be like, no, you go give her a hug, because she really wants a hug. But, like, we also, that's another thing I want to point out. We shouldn't guilt people into wanting, like, we shouldn't, guilting somebody into, giving you affection or giving you anything is so nasty. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just so ugly and nasty. And, you know, it's so funny. So many people do that. So many people try to use a guilt system to get what they want out of people. And it's showing 100% that we start this at a young age by telling a kid, you know what, go give Miss Who and Who a kiss bye, or a hug bye, because she's going to be really sad if you don't. And that's manipulating children even. And I know that sometimes we have to say things because they're children, and I know there's no black and white. I know there's a gray line, but at the end of the day, listen, kids are smart too. They're just, I mean, they really are. And they know that if they don't feel like hugging, or they know if they don't feel like kissing, or even holding hands, or participating in any kind of event where you have to touch. I had such an issue with that as a young age and felt so uncomfortable and felt so ostracized because I felt like I had to, and my anxiety levels would skyrocket. And things make sense now as I'm getting older and I understand more and I actually read about things, and I just try really, really hard since he's not my kid. And even if he were, like, I didn't want kids. Like, I don't want kids, not didn't. I'm almost 38 years old. 10 years ago, I had endometrial cancer, so I can't have children, so to speak, unless I were to, like, adopt or surrogate. But honestly, anybody that really knows me knows that that's not my thing. That's not something that I've ever really wanted to deal with, because honestly, the main reason, there's two main reasons. One, I don't want to be, what's the word I'm looking for? I can't think of the word right now, but basically, I don't want, oh my God, that word's it's gonna make me mad. I can't think of that word. Resent. I don't want to resent children because it's hard. It's really hard. And a lot of parents don't get that it's hard before they have them. And my mom resented having us. Like, she did. She's even told us that. She resented having us. We don't have relations with her because she resented having us. And you know what? I don't blame her for not wanting a relationship with, I don't blame her for not wanting kids. The thing I do blame her for is having kids and then deciding to not want a relationship with them later on in life, which is totally okay. I mean, I guess we've all dealt with it, but these are the reasons why I didn't want children. But being as though I watch my friend's kid, and I volunteered to do that and whatever, it's not like I was like, oh my God, you know, I love him dearly. Actually, I am so grateful that I have the opportunity with this, because I love him like my own. I can't imagine loving another human as much as I do love him, as far as like that. Like, I can't imagine how intense it would be if you had your own child. Like, I mean, he's not mine, but I love him like he is. So I try really, really, really hard to give him the best, since I watch him so much during the week. I try really hard to give him the best. Like, I try to look all around because I don't want to mess him up in a sense, right? So I try really, really hard to read and to educate and to look at things, and, you know, especially with me being involved with, like, self-love and body love, and I just really want him to understand that, you know, he's a little individual. Oh my God, I just got the battery warning, so I really don't have much time. But watching him has actually brought more awareness to me. So that's really all this is about, is just respecting people's boundaries and understanding, and maybe think about things before you try to push your whatever onto someone else. You know what I mean? I'm kind of rushing because my battery's about to die. But yeah, I'll try to find the article for you guys. I probably won't be able to because that's just my life, but I'll try to find the article, and if I can, I will link it below for you guys. But that's all I have for you today, guys. As always, thank you so much for watching. If you haven't already, please like, share, comment, subscribe, and be nice to each other, because remember, nobody likes an asshole. Mwah. Bye, guys.